You ever tried to record the output of a BIOS on an old laptop like this? Yeah, it's pretty difficult because all the capture devices you can buy these days are HDMI input. And how do you get from the VGA on the old server and laptop to a HDMI? It drove me mad for ages. I've been through all sorts of different HDMI, VGA adapters and none of them work. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the solution. I finally found the product that captures anything coming out of VGA on an old laptop, old server, whatever it is. You can capture it just like the ones I showed you at the start of this video. So let's get cracking and have a look. I'm going to show you now the problem that I've had with trying to capture BIOSes and record them. This is a compact 6910p laptop from the early noughties. It has a VGA output on the back and a function key that allows you to use an external monitor. So if we switch this laptop on now, and we'll see the BIOS starts to boot up, and then I can press Shift or Function F4 and it will come up on this screen. There it is. So we have the ability to have local screen and extended screen with the output. The problem is, how do we capture this to a modern computer for recording, because that's coming out VGA to VGA, and what we want to be able to do is get that in some way recorded to a computer. Now, the issue is that these capture devices all accept HDMI inputs. So I thought the next plan would be to get a VGA to HDMI adapter, and let's see what happens when we try the one that I bought off Amazon. I'm going to switch over now for the adapter from Amazon. So I'm going to unplug the VGA cable and then plug in here the VGA to HDMI adapter, which requires USB power. Plug that in there, and then on the back of the monitor, switch that over. So what we've got now is VGA to HDMI converter, HDMI to VGA input on the monitor. And let's power the laptop up again. Laptop BIOS screen comes on, function F4, which sent the picture over last time for us, and nothing. There's something gone wrong in the VGA signal that's coming out the back of the laptop into that converter into HDMI into VGA that's gone wrong. So this converter doesn't work. Okay. I tried something else next. What I tried next was this, which is an EDID device. This is designed to replicate the signal from a monitor back to the VGA. So reading up on it, this is designed to fool the laptop into thinking it's got a monitor connected to it when it hasn't got a monitor connected to it, it's got a converter. So let's see what happens when we try this now. So we'll take this device out of here and we get this rather, you always ended up with these kind of things in IT, this rather fabulous connection here that's going to go on the back. It really isn't wonderful in terms of stability, but it does all connect together and it is all secure and snug in place. So then power the laptop back up again. BIOS comes on. Shift F4 to send the signal. And nothing. It didn't work. It doesn't fool the laptop into thinking it's got a monitor connected. It can't understand what's coming out of here and going into here through the converter. This is the problem when trying to record old BIOSes on laptops. Some will work. I've got a HP Omnibook and that works because I think it's so old that it displays or outputs at a refresh rate and a signal rate that can be understood by my Elgato capture card. But this one cannot, and nor can the HP ML350 G4P server. So I thought, how am I going to solve this problem? Because I can't be the only one who wants to capture old BIOSes and stuff like that. So I did some digging around and I researched it and I found a device that solves the problem, and we're going to look at that now. Right, the new device is here and it's connected to the back of the compact laptop by a simple VGA cable out, VGA cable in, USB into this Dell computer I've got here running Windows XP, and that's going to do the capturing for us. I'm now going to run the capture software and I'm going to start up the laptop. And then I'm going to output the image to the external monitor. We have it captured. There it is. The BIOS, no problem being captured. You press the record button, you can record it to video. It's that easy. I've tried it with the server as well and it works. It's quite interesting because we get to see here at the top that it's running 720 by 400 at 70 Hertz. That's the output resolution and refresh rate that this gives when it's in its BIOS mode. And 720 by 400 isn't very common. It's not one that you regularly use in Windows. It's not available even. And 70 Hertz is quite high. But this device has done it all. And now we can have a little bit of fun with this device because I actually reveal what it is and how you can get one and get it set up on your computer. And here it is, the Epiphan VGA2USB device. You can see on the screen next to me right now, I've got the information about that up on screen. VGA in, USB 2, mini USB, mini USB 2 into the capture device. It's quite old now and it's not supported anymore. So if you look for it online from the provider, you'll see that it's no longer manufactured, but they do provide all the documentation and all the drivers for it. And if you go on eBay, you can find them. I picked mine up on eBay. Got it for about 26 quid, which I think is pretty good. It can go for a bit more than that. But if this is what you want to do, this is what you've got to get. You can see the specs up here on the screen. Its update rate and resolutions it can capture from 640, 480 to 2048, 2048. And it also captures all those other frame rates in between. And this is what makes it so good. It captures anything that comes out of a VGA interface. And it was designed not only for capturing BIOSes and other such devices, but for capturing Internet of Things devices, refrigerators, machines in heat treatment centers, other things like that. It was designed with anything with a VGA on it, even CCTV could be plugged in with this and be captured. And that's what the purpose of this device was for. And that's what this manufacturer makes them for. If you want to buy one brand new now, there are a couple of hundred quid starting from that, but obviously you pick them up secondhand because they don't provide them anymore. But this is the one device now that you can use to capture any output of any old BIOS on any device that you want to use, and you can actually record it. This is an example of the capture of that Compax BIOS. As you can see, it looks great on screen. Everything's clear and we can see every section of the BIOS, which means now you can go through in videos and go through the configuration settings that were once really difficult to do. I was able to use ILO on a server, but on a laptop BIOS, there's nothing that I could have used except filming the screen. And as we know, that looks pretty dreadful. This is great. So the next thing now is, how do you actually get this all set up? Before we go through how the capture card works and how to set it all up, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. That would mean lots to me. I'm hoping this information is helpful for you. Go and get yourself one of these devices off eBay if you're excited and you want to start capturing. And if you're not and you want to watch some more, we're going to go onto a Windows XP machine now, and I'll take you through the configuration of the Epiphan capture software and how you need to get that set up so you can record the BIOS the same way that I have. Right, we're on the Windows XP computer here, and I've got the Epiphan capture tool installed. That comes part of the drivers that you can download from the website, and it installs the software and the drivers for the device. We'll load that up. And really the two main parts to check on this are select device, which should detect your device automatically, and it can see mine there and see there's no signal at the moment. Capture, configure device. And here you've got options for shifting the horizontal and vertical picture if the capture isn't quite right coming from the device that you're using. And VGA modes. You can see at the top you've got custom VGA modes, so you can add any that you know that you've got. But down here is kind of where the exciting stuff is here. These ones here, these 720 ones, these are most likely to be the ones that are coming out of your BIOS here that you can't get through any other kind of VGA to HDMI adapter. The second setup option is your tools options. And here you can choose your video or images that you want to record, and you can select your codec for your compression. Now, what I did previously that you saw was full frames, and it generates a big file, and I'll show you the size of one of those in a moment. So you can use another compression. I used Indio Video 510, and that's got, it's going to take less frames. It's got compression on it. It doesn't look as good. It looked like it had kind of horizontal lines in it. The recording wasn't as crisp and clean. So it does depend on how long you're going to do something for and how much disk space you've got. If you can, I would stick with full frames to get the very best quality while you're capturing. You've got other options here in the capture because it really is quite an extensive tool for audio as well, KVM, how many bits per pixel that you're going to capture. I actually had it on full color. You've got many different options. I kind of like cool one here. put a timestamp and some text on the screen while you're capturing. You can do that where it sits on the screen as well. So kind of very retro for that, but you can put your own sort of time and name on the screen for that. And it looks for what it looks for a device when it starts up. And there's a sharing tab. I'm not even sure what that one does, to be honest with you. It's probably not needed for what we want to do. But that's it. It's very, very simple to set this up. And when you've done that, you can start recording and capture. Now, I did this before and I captured a file. In fact, we're going to need to switch back to the Mac for that. So let's switch back to the Mac. Back on my Mac now, you can see here, this is what I actually recorded, an AVI file, and this was completely uncompressed. And it is 500, just over 500 megs, nearly half a gigabyte in size. You can see that that was only for 30 seconds of recording, so it will generate big files pretty quickly. I then used the tool to convert that to an MP4 file, which is actually what's in this video, and you can see that's 389 kilobytes. So that compressed it really well without losing any of the quality of the image. So with this, it is probably better, if you can, to record at full frames and then use a compression tool afterwards, or a conversion tool, to convert to MP4 and not lose any of the quality of the image. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that solved the problem for all of you out there that want to record old, retro and vintage computer BIOSes. You've now got the answer. Give me a like and subscribe. I'd much appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. Ta-da!